University. Guys, what we're going to do every single month is Chris and I are going to sit here, plus special guests when they are in the studio as well. We're going to sit down and we're going to talk about what we went over in the Insider for that month. This will also give you the ability to add comments below, ask questions, whatever you guys want to do with regards to the gear that we have on the table and the topic that we're discussing. The topic will always follow along with what the month is covering. So for this month, we're talking about shelter and water. So this section right now is going to cover all of our options that we use currently for water. We'll do another one for shelter because we want to make sure that we can stay in depth and really cover all the information that you guys might have and answer all the questions that you might have. And we don't want to really springboard on too many different topics. So this will be very topic specific driven. And you know what we're really hoping is that you guys get a ton of information and are able to ask a lot of questions to us with regards to the gear, the philosophy, the techniques that we use with regards to the topic. So with regards to the Insider this month, we covered ways to store water. Tonight we're going to talk about ways to purify water. We're going to talk about purifying water in the home, purifying water on the go, alternative water purification methods. So that's what we're going to start with. So we're going to start with at home. Most of the time, survival, disaster situations, you're going to start at home.
Yeah,
I mean, that's where you start.
That's where you start, and hopefully in most cases, that's where you'll finish too. Because having a bug out is just such a bad idea. So, and it's where everything is.
Yeah.
So
it's your comfort.
It's your comfort, and it's your supply point. I mean, that's where all your stuff is. So, gearing everything to just a bag is a bad idea in my opinion. You need to have one, but you also need to have these systems at home on a larger scale, and that's where things like the Berkey filter comes in. Now, these are just the filters, of course. I was going to bring a whole Berkey in this morning, but my wife happened to fill it when she woke up this morning, so it was full of water, and I didn't want to pour it down the drain. But these are filters, and John brought his filters in because he doesn't have the Berkey.
I don't use a Berkey.
I use the Berkey.
They can be big. They can take up a lot of counter space.
Yeah, they do.
If it's something that you want to use. And listen, there's a lot of people that use a Berkey as their daily water source.
That's us.
You guys leave it on the counter, you fill it up, and you grab your water.
We've got a special stand for it. We run two. We run an Imperial and a Royal at the same time at the house. And it just gets filled every day, and we use them, and that's all our cooking water, drinking water, everything goes through the Berkey. Yeah,
I mean, we have a smaller kitchen, less counter space. It's hard to really fit a Berkey somewhere. And I got a 2-year-old that I don't need messing with the nozzle all day long. So what I have done is I've purchased 2 of the black Berkey filters. They have a black and a white. And, guys, a Berkey is a really nice, I mean, they're beautiful.
Oh, yeah, they look great.
Well constructed, but really, they're a water reservoir, a holder and a container. I mean, that's all it is.
An upper chamber or lower chamber.
Yeah. And you can really just take 2 5-gallon buckets and drill, 1, 2, 3, 4 holes, however many filters you want to put in there, and literally stack them on top of each other, filter 5 gallons of water at a time. You can ladle it out or put a spout in the bottom bucket if you wanted to.
Yeah, in my books, I actually did that. So you take 2 5-gallon buckets. Preferably, you'll have 2 lids.
Yeah.
You take the bottom one and you cut most of the lid out, obviously. And then you drill the holes in the bottom of one of them. Put your filters in. Make sure that the filter elements will fit through the hole you drilled. And then, just stack them and let them run gravity feed into the bottom. And if you want to get fancy, like you said, you can get a spigot to put down there. And then you've essentially got a Berkey filter.
Right.
It's not a shiny stainless steel.
Yeah, it's not,
and they're expensive. I mean, they can be pretty pricey. They're hundreds of dollars.
Yeah. So what I chose to do was to get the filters, which are the $100 range or so. Get 2 5-gallon buckets from Home Depot and throw the drill bit in there. That's the correct size for the nozzle, the filters. And if I needed a way to purify water. We're 4 weeks after Hurricane Irma went through Florida.
Yeah.
We still have a city that is about 15 miles or so from my house that are still on a boil notice. They are still boiling water.
Wow.
So, this is a way to to alleviate some of that as well. You know,
that's rough.
but if you're in a situation where you have many family members, you know, hand pumps are great, but it takes somebody standing there with a hand pump all day long. And if you got 4 or 5 family members, you're literally going to have somebody pumping water 8 hours a day.
Yeah, these things are nice, but they're not fast.
Yeah, so with a Berkey, you know, you could fill a 5-gallon bucket, let it sit there and do something else with your energy and time.
Exactly. Anytime that you can have something working for you while you're attending to other tasks, I mean, that's
automation.
Yeah, it's a gain in magnitude.
Yeah.
You know, whereas pumps, you're like you said, you're going to be standing there doing it, and that's all you can do. You can't be doing something else. So having a gravity feed, like even this one, the platypus, you know, that you can set up and walk away from is awesome.
Yeah, so you know, really talking about on a large scale, a large size, you know, your Berkey is going to be the best way to purify a lot of water with as little of work as possible. You know, I would say, so that would be an at-home only.
Oh,
You're never throwing these really in a backpack. You're not carrying a Berkey on your back. You're not carrying 5-gallon buckets on your back.
Yeah.
It is at home, stationary. It's staying
Or
there.
at a bug out location.
Right.
If you have a pre-planned, I'm going to go to this place, this is another great option.
Yeah.
Because and two, the more filters you add, the faster it'll filter water. And these things are good for, like, in the articles in the Insider, it's like 3,000 gallons per filter, so it's a lot of water.
Yeah, and he says per filter. So if you put 4 filters in a bucket, it's now pretty much 12,000.
It's a 12,000 gallon capacity.
Yeah, so you know, just as you add filters, you pretty much double that number, or you know, add that number to it.
Yep.
So pretty much a stationary, you know, option. Now an option that can be used at the home, or you know, packed into a bag, a little bit on the bigger side, but not too big for what it does, would be like a gravity system. This is a platypus gravity works filter, and really what it is, Chris is going to be my tall tree here. You got one bag that's a dirty filter. This is your dirty water bag, so you could scoop this up with nasty brown water, attach the hose, attach the filter. The water is going to flow through the filter, through the hose, into your clean bag. So you can hold these up if you want to. You can hang them in a tree. You can hang them in the wall of your house, whatever you have. Dirty water is going to filter through. It's going to go through the filter into the clean, and then what you end up with is you go from 4 liters of dirty water into a bag that has 4 liters of clean water. So and this only takes about 2, maybe 3 minutes max.
Really, it goes that fast?
Yeah, wow. They say about 1.5 liters per minute. So it's a very quick way, and this is going to get out your typical 99.99% of bacteria and protozoa and things like that that can make you sick.
The beaver fever stuff,
yeah.
Giardia, Cryptosporidium, all those nasty ones.
What I like about this system is, once again, it's kind of an automated thing. Once you get it set up, it's a set and forget, and you could leave it there for 30 minutes. If you were doing something else, you're going to come back and still have 4 liters of fresh water. It's small enough and light enough that I can throw it in a backpack if I had to bug out and I had a couple of people with me.
Yeah, it's a great group water source.
Yeah, and it's one of those things too. What I like about this system, and I do carry this system in one of my larger bags, is if I had to, with a hand pump, if you and I are quasi on the run, and you got to stop and pump water, you're there for a while. Where this, I could literally, in 5 seconds, scoop 4 liters of water, attach this to my bag, the dirty, and we can take off until we know we are in no harm's way whatsoever, and then I can filter it. Mm-hmm. Or if we think maybe, hey, we got 20 minutes here and we got to get out of here, I could fill up the dirty bag, filter it real quick, so I have 4 liters of clean water, and then fill up the dirty bag again.
Right, and carry it with you.
And now I have 8 liters of water that I can carry also, which is quite a bit of water.
Oh, yeah.
So it gives you that flexibility as well, over something of, hey, I got 2 water bottles. Okay, great, you got 32 or 64 ounces
Everybody's
of water.
kit should have, they got a technical name for the water, like the water bladders.
Yeah.
Not the Camelback type. I'm talking the ones that are just made to
just a sack
carry water. Yeah. They got an actual name for them. I don't know what it is, but everybody's kit, I think, should have something of that capacity in it, because, like you just said, you may not always be able to have the luxury of, I don't got all the time in the world, I can sit here and filter water.
Yeah.
But to be able to grab it when you can and then filter it later, that's where this comes in. But even just having a bag that you can do it with later,
Yeah.
you know, if you have a pump, you can take it with you and you can filter it after a while too.
And what I also like about these bags is once you get your clean water bag done, you can hang it up again and use
Dispense with it.
dispense with it.
Yeah.
You know, you can rinse your hands off if you need to.
Yeah.
Rinse out a pot if you
Yep.
need to, if you're doing cooking, like you're camping or something. You know, or fill up other people's water bottles with it. You know, without them, you know, having to suck on your bladder hose
Yeah,
or
that's-
something
yeah,
like that.
yeah.
So, so you know, the platypus. This is the Platypus Gravity Works system. It comes with the 2 bags. It comes with a filter. Everything you need. Has a nice bag. Super simple to
I like that,
to use. You know, I've used this on a ton of hikes, and it's great because it kind of gives people a water source. Because you're not always next to the river. We
No.
always love to camp next to the river.
Yeah.
But most of the time you're a quarter of a mile or a half a mile. So it's nice to be able to have this bag, hang it up, and
In camp. Yeah.
and have
Yeah.
have the ability to kind of go to that. So that's the platypus system. So Chris is going to talk about, you know, if we go from this, now we're going to go to a hand pump style system.
That's your
kind of the tried and true.
Step. So this is a Sweetwater that I've had for a long time, MSR Sweetwater. Typical, you know, inlet, outlet. You know, this has a little pre-filter screen on it. You can get an actual pre-filter to put in line with this one. And the reason I went with this one above some of the others is the filter elements. So these are encased, whereas some of the other ones, you drop in ceramic elements into a housing. And backpacks are rough on stuff.
Yeah,
And some brittle pieces of ceramic in a bag
bouncing around.
get broke or get crushed, and then you're kind of hosed. So this thing's encased. You're not going to break this filter element.
Yeah.
And I have a spare that I keep in the bag as well. So I have this one that's on the filter, and I'll have a spare as well. And it's a pretty simple pump. You should also have a pump maintenance kit. If you're going to be running a pump, you need to get the pump maintenance kit because it's going to have all the O-rings. You know, this one's kind of grungy from its last use, but it's still serviceable. But having the parts available, if you're going to run a mechanical system, I don't care if it's your weapon, I don't care if it's a pump, you need to have spare parts for it. So have the maintenance kit with the O-rings, the lubricant for the pistons, the food grade stuff that comes with them, everything you need, spare hoses maybe even, to keep your pump up and running. Because if this is your only way of purifying water, which even in a bug out bag, this should not be your only way of purifying water. You need to be able to keep it operational. So, and these are great if you're on the go. They're light. You can filter about anything through these things too. Anywhere you can find. I mean, I filtered here in Florida. I filtered water out of a palm tree stump one time because it was all there was. I mean, it was brown,
Right.
but it was safe to drink, and I drank it. So, so you can get, and that's another thing too with these is it'll let you access water in places you may not be able to otherwise.
Yeah.
You know, the gravity ones and everything, you've got to have, you know, fairly decent access to sizable water to get them. These, you can drop them into crevices and rocks or anywhere you see water. With this, you can probably get to it. You could pull the pre-filter off and stick it down in there and pump the water out.
Yeah, and that's definitely an advantage because you're not always just able to walk up to the river
And scoop it up. Yeah.
And you know, so sometimes you gotta. I've leaned over rocks and stuff to get down to the water, little holes, you know.
And two, yeah, if you're above the water, you know, you get a little bit more reach if you can squat down and drop your hose, and you can extend the hose on these too. I mean, but it's something you got to carry. And you know, they do require maintenance. You got to replace the hoses, but that's going to be anything with hose. You need to replace this stuff every so often, and that's also its liability is if the hoses break or if you don't pay attention to them and they get brittle from dry rot, and you go out in the field and every time you plug it on it breaks.
Yeah.
You know, then you could be in a kind of a world of hurt. So it's a system that requires some maintenance, but that's like everything. Everything requires a little bit of maintenance. So, but I like the pumps. I'm a big fan of the pumps for my pack because they're fairly light. You know, they're easy to use, and it's almost an unlimited supply of safe water as long as you have access to it.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and I mean, besides the MSR,
Yeah.
you know, I have a Catadine. I mean, it's the same thing.
Yeah.
It's Chevy and Ford.
Yeah,
you know,
they're all pumps. So
you know, the Hiker series. I think they have quite a few. There's the Hiker. I think there's the Through Hiker.
Yeah.
They have a couple different brands. You know, and that's really just based on, like, this one is mostly plastic construction. They have one that's aluminum construction. That's a little bit, you know, beefier.
yeah.
You know?
Well, that also adds weight. You know.
Right.
You know, what is it? Ounces equal pounds. Pounds equal pain. So the lighter, if you're going to be carrying this stuff, the lighter. And you know, and John's one of those ultralight weirdos.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
He measures all those ounces in pounds. But you know, so the lighter it is, you know, the easier it's going to be to carry.
Yeah, and I will say there are other brands out there, you know, that make hand pump options.
Lots of them.
I think Chris will agree with me. Catadine, MSR,
Yeah.
are the two that I stick with. I mean,
Yeah.
and they have enough options that, like, if they don't make it, it's probably not made.
Yeah, and you don't need it.
Yeah.
You know, you get what you pay for in a lot of these things, and in things that are health related in particular, like something that's going to filter your water. If you've ever been exposed to bad water, it's not fun, and it can, you know, I mean, it could kill you if depending on your situation. If you're hiking or something like that, in most cases, it's not going to, but it'll make you highly uncomfortable. It'll make you miserable. I mean, imagine you're on a hike where you have the runs, you know, because you drank bad water, and you're in a position where you have to continue hiking. You got to get out, so you got to keep moving. So making sure you have clean water is paramount, but the gear you're relying on to do it is pretty important. So there's a lot of little no-name and Chinese knockoff things out there. You know, this is one of the things that I believe in buying a brand name quality piece of kit, because it's going to pay for itself.
Yeah.
By the money you don't spend on an emergency room or doctor visit. You know, you get Giardia, that's antibiotics, it's all kinds of stuff that you're gonna have to run through to get rid of that. So it's pretty important.
Yeah. So that's hand pumps.
Yeah.
And you know, and that's kind of a breakdown. Probably, I would say the most universal as far as size, weight, ability.
Yeah, I mean they're very versatile.
Yeah.
But they're not fast either. You got to remember that. You know, you're going to spend a couple minutes to pump a liter of water through one of these. So, and you know, and again, that's time that you're dedicated to solely doing this. You're not going to be doing something else.
Yeah.
Because you manually, physically got to be involved with it.
So that's hand pumps. You know, that you can use to filter your water. That's kind of the next section that we went over, and then we're going to move into.
Yeah, the good old straws.
The straws, you know, the ultra lightweight, size-wise.
Well, and these are an inexpensive solution.
Yeah.
Everybody should have one of these. You know, be it the Sawyer Mini or a Life Straw. I think everybody should have one of these.
The Renovo is another one.
Yeah, there's several of them. You know, I personally like the Sawyer Minis. I'm not a fan of the Life Straw because it's not as versatile. You know, the Sawyer. They come with this bag. You can put dirty water in the bag, which is a feat in and of itself.
Yeah.
They kind of oversell this, in my opinion.
Yeah.
You know, you got to get water into that. If you don't have flowing water, it's really hard to get water into that. But it will also screw onto like a conventional water bottle. You know, it'll screw right onto those too. Or you can put the straw on it and drink right from the source.
Yeah.
So this one's pretty versatile. The other thing you can do with these too is if you're running a Camelback, you can cut your hose, put this in line, fill your Camelback, which has a wide mouth, and then just suck it through the straw, or through the tube, and this will still filter.
Yeah.
So this thing's pretty versatile. That's why I like to have them. You know, in the Life Straw, of course, you're going to be drinking right from the source, or from probably a water bag. If you know, even a garbage bag, if that's what you got in your kit as an emergency thing, fill up a garbage bag with as much water as you can carry. You can suck it right out of there with this thing. So
I really like the Sawyer Mini. Extremely versatile, just like you said, can fit it into quite a few different systems. Life Straws, they've had to have sold hundreds of thousands, if not millions, of these things. They work.
Yeah.
They work. Yeah. They will keep you alive. Yep. They will get you the water you need in your body safely, you know, drinkable. But I'm not a fan.
I'm not a fan of them either.
I will say I will say this: I do not own a Life straw.
I don't in my kit. I don't have one in my stuff.
The reason I don't prefer these is they want to say it's a small, lightweight package. First of all, the Sawyer Mini is half the size.
Yeah.
But second of all, this is, I can stop at a water source. I can get on my hands and knees.
Yeah.
I can pop the lids, and I can drink from it.
Yeah.
But as soon as I get up, I don't have any water source with me. I have a filter.
Yeah.
I don't have a water source with me.
Right.
And I know what you guys are going to say. Well, carry a bottle, carry a bladder, carry a way to carry water. Okay, that takes away from the size of this system. If I'm carrying a bottle and you know, something to drink this, because that's how a lot of people do it. They'll scoop up a big, you know, jug of water,
an Nalgene bottle or something like
and then drink out of it.
Yeah.
Well, if you add this plus the size of an Nalgene bottle, I can carry my Gravity Works system for that same size or that. For the
this
same
isn't
size.
a whole lot bigger than that thing, really. I mean, when you collapse it down, it's not. Let me see. There.
So
that much bigger.
You can break that down, and it's not that much bigger at that point. So you know, that's the reason why I don't like this, because it's funny because I see in like their commercials and promos and stuff. It's like the guy leaning over the rock.
Yeah, on some crystal clear creek too.
You know, I don't find those places. Usually it's muddy, dirty water that you have to get your. Now you're getting your pants wet, your arms wet, muddy.
Yeah, that's another thing. Trying to access that water, especially here in Florida. Now we know there's people, you folks up in you know, up north of us, anywhere north of us, which is pretty much the rest of the damn country.
North of Georgia, pretty much.
You guys can access a creek that'll have a nice stony bank or a sandy bank. In Florida, most of your water sources are going to have 10 or 15 feet of this black muck leading up to them. And so to get your face down there is going to be a feat and not be covered in that crap. And plus, a lot of it is just foul smelling, and you have to stick your face in it anyway. So, just not a fan of them. Again, if you're on a budget and you can only afford something, get one. Absolutely. I mean, if I was thirsty and was lost, I would love to have one. You know, I mean, something is better than nothing. So they do have a place for sure. But just understand their limitations.
And I would say, exactly, depending on funds, if you need something, you know, get it. But the Sawyer Mini will come with the bottle, the Mini and the straw for $20.
You get this with a lid, so you can actually carry the water with you. Then you can take the lid off. You can put this thing on it. You can squeeze and drink. And like I said, it'll go onto a water bottle. And sadly, in today's world, water bottles are everywhere. I mean, you know, they're laying everywhere. Literally, you can pick them up off the side of the road. They're in the waterways. They're in the oceans, of course. And this thing will screw right on the top of one of them. So if I had to pick this one or that one, I'm going to take this one because you get more bang for the buck.
Still a good option, but it comes with some limitations with regards to use.
And this
so that's what I'll say on it.
Limitations to use for sure. It's not designed to drink out of something like a water bottle or this, you know. You do need another option, and it has to be bigger diameter. You know, with this thing, you can put this straw on it, and again, you can get down into a seep or something. This is a little bit bigger diameter. You're not going to stick this inside of a water bottle and drink out of it. So if you are in a situation where you're lost, whatnot, and you can find some water bottles to carry water, and you can fill them up and take them, you can't use this to filter them. You're going to be cutting the top off of one of them at some point, which is an option. Whereas this, you could just hook them to it and use it. So it's just more versatile for this. More versatile.
So that's your small size, minimum weight, affordable option with regards to filtering water. And then the next one, you know, we can throw that aside. The next one is going to be a bottle filter. You know, Sawyer makes theirs. A lot of them look like your typical like water bottle that you'd put on a bicycle.
It
has the filter
and they have the filter element, almost like a filter straw in some of them too. So
many companies make water bottles, you know, of that nature. Chris dropped his mic.
I dropped my mic and I think it turned off.
No, I think it's still on here.
Now it's on.
So,
I think it turned off when it
anyways.
We hope it turned off when it fell, so we didn't waste all this.
Welcome to the university. Professors make issues at times too. Okay. So with regards to a water bottle filter, they're a good option for bug out bags for single person use. Because, if you don't, I mean, unless you want to start sharing your lid of your bottle with everybody.
Yeah.
But Sawyer makes, there's a lot of different companies. I use the Grail. I actually carry this in my EDC bag every day.
That's a neat one. I've never seen it before, so I liked it when you showed it.
So I like this one because it kind of looks like your everyday coffee thermos.
Yeah.
Your daily thermos. It doesn't stand out. It's not some
tactical looking something or another.
And I mean, for my day job, I have to meet with people. I have to have board meetings and things like that. And I can set this on a table and it looks.
Yeah, no one's going to look twice at it.
Nobody's going to look twice. Yeah. But the cool thing about it is, it's kind of like a French press for you coffee guys. You can just fill this up, and the whole filter element unscrews from the bottom here, and they make quite a few different filters for it. Some are just like they have different colors. The first one is just uber cheap, like, hey, I got tap water at my office, and I just want to get rid of the iron taste. Right. It's really just a charcoal filter, but it's really affordable. And then the orange one, this will kill pretty much anything out there, so that's what I go with. But literally just, you can fill this at a fountain or scoop it out of a pond, whatever, and then you literally just, unscrew the cap here, you literally just press it down, and the water goes through the filter and then stays in this portion. That's the drinking portion of it. And they say take like a minute or so to push it down, and once it's down, it seals. You can close the lid, throw it in your bag. So inline filters are a good option. They give you a water container and filter in one.
Yeah, it gives you a way to carry water, that's something if you might have noticed the theme here. We keep coming back to that, the ability to carry water, and it's not a lot.
No,
but it's some. So you get something like this, you filter some water, you drink it. Then you filter some more water and you drink as much as you can stand. Yeah. Then you filter some more and carry it away with you. Yeah. Because often people especially in the desert, this happens a lot, is they'll find people dead in the desert and they'll have a half-full water bottle on them. Yeah. Because they think they need to ration their water. Well, the water's going to do much better inside of you than it's going to do in a bottle. So, that's your best canteen, is your belly. Fill it up.
So I mean, that's another option that. I use this, like I said, in my EDC bag. It just sits at the bottom of it. I do use it from time to time throughout the day if I just need water. I know I'm going somewhere and I don't have a bottle of water. I usually have a bottle of water with me at my desk or something. But if I were to find myself in like a get-home situation or something, and I only had my EDC bag, I know I have a way to filter water
and carry.
Yeah. And it just literally sits at the bottom of my bag. And like my laptop.
That's pretty cool. Yeah.
So that's the Grail, but there's many different options. I just kind of wanted to show you this category, and make it fit your system. So that's an inline filter. You want to talk chemical?
Yeah, let's talk some chemical stuff. I've got this quality packaging here. Simply
is that the official Walmart?
This is the official branded Walmart bag. But in here is obviously just a 3-inch chlorine tab. Now, there's an actual...
And this is just what you throw in your pool, if you have a pool shock or whatever.
Yeah, well, no.
Not the shock.
Yeah, you got to be careful because there's the multi-component ones that do 4 different things. What you don't want is one that has the algicide and all the other garbage and the fungicides and all that. You don't want that. You just need the straight up chlorine tabs. Liquid bleach we can treat water with.
Yeah,
everybody knows
under your sink.
Right. So, but it has a very short shelf life. This has a very long shelf life. It's solid. So, it's in a compressed brick, but a couple minutes on a cheese grater, you can have powdered chlorine. And we'll post a note with this, how to do this as far as measurements, because there is a formula for it. So what you do is you reduce this to powder, you mix it in solution into a small solution, and then you use that just like bleach. So 1, 2, 3, 4 drops. So, but this is the way that you can store it. You can get these things in a 1-gallon bucket. They come a lot of times. Sometimes you can get them in the single packs that are like heavy-duty plastic, whatever. And they're a good way to store bleach, which then can also be used for cleaning, sanitizing, disinfecting, treating your drinking water, of course. So that's one way to get the bleach, which is always a problem because the liquid stuff has such a short shelf life.
Yeah.
That's why, like in your pool, you have to add the, I forget what they call it, but it's something in there to keep the chlorine from off-gassing and to keep the sun from killing it, because the sun's the worst thing in the world on chlorine. It'll just blast it out of there. Stabilizer it's called, yeah. So these tabs are a good way to have the bleach around. Again, not just for treating water, but also for cleaning stuff, sanitizing stuff. And then, of course, we've got chemical tabs, iodine, and I brought these in. This is a Coleman brand, but it's a PA+, so if you're using iodine, you can use liquid iodine. There's the iodine tablets. These will remove the iodine taste from the water, which...
It's horrific.
Yeah, it's so bad.
Yeah.
And if you have kids...
Now you have to remember, the alternative is dehydration and death.
Yeah.
So it's better than that, but it's
not much better.
Not much better.
And if you have a kid, you know, like your son, imagine trying to get a kid to drink that stuff.
And iodine can be really hard on the stomach after a while. I mean, if we're talking, hey, it's been a week or so, you can start to get some tummy rumbles.
I mean, you'll get some tummy rumbles, and too, it's also killing all the probiotics in your gut. All the good flora is dying along with all the bad stuff. So, not something you want to use a lot of, but again, it's an emergency thing.
And it's so small.
So small. Another treatment too, which I don't have here because it's just not practical to bring it in here, is potassium permanganate. The stuff that's in water softeners, that purple stuff. That can be mixed into solution and used to purify water as well. As well as other uses that it has, for those that are creative. But that's another one too. So there's water softeners at everybody's house. And I mention that because if you could find yourself in an urban area needing clean water and have nothing, but if you can find a water softener, you pull the cap on that tank, that purple stuff's in there, that's potassium permanganate, you can mix that in solution, it'll purify water as well. So those are a couple chemical options that you can use. To me, those are a last ditch.
Yeah.
I don't have any of this stuff, and I stumbled across that, and I'll use it if I have to. I'm not a fan of chemical treatments. I don't like I don't have city water at my house, and I don't want to go adding that garbage to already pretty clean water. So
yeah, and I mean, a lot of people go to the chemical treatment, and they have their place. So small. I mean, that's how many tablets?
That's 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. That's 10 tablets right there.
So 10 treatments
That's 10
of
yeah.
30-ish ounces of water.
Yeah, but 30-ish ounces.
So you can get 8 to 10 Nalgene bottles of water. I mean, out of something that's 3 little post stamp size, stamp size.
Yeah, I mean, these things are small. They're like this diameter of a BB.
Yeah.
And to another thing, consideration, like with these, is these are a fast, low signature way. If you can scoop up some water and drop these in and keep going, you can stay moving. You don't have to build a fire and boil it, which that is obviously the be-all, fail-all water treatment system. But this is a low signature, which all of these are pretty much low signature, but and this will work for you while you're tending to other things, the chemical ones.
Yeah, it does have some downsides with regards to chemical. Number one, I mean, like we talked about, it tastes bad. Number two, it's not instant filtering.
No, you need to wait 30 minutes.
You got to wait 30 minutes. And one thing too is when you put it in water, you always want to turn your bottle over, crack the cap,
and slosh it.
a little bit.
Once it's treated.
Yeah.
Wait the 30 minutes, and before you drink it, crack your cap and slosh it around to get the treated water onto the threads in the mouth of your bottle. And then drink it.
And you also want to let that chlorine evaporate.
Yeah.
So you don't want to just screw the lid on and take off.
Yeah.
And number two, unless you have any type of pre-filter, I mean, that could be a handkerchief, it could be a paper coffee filter, something like that. You're drinking the color of the water that you're scooping up.
Well, it's going to be that color regardless.
Right.
I mean, you can get
the
chunks
grit
out of it.
Yeah.
You can get the chunks out of it, but yeah, you're going to be...
If the water's brown, you're drinking brown. If it's green...
That's why it's always good to have a colored Nalgene bottle. So you just... Or I don't like Nalgene bottles personally. I'm not a big fan of plastics. I like a stainless steel bottle for 2 reasons. One, I can't see through it, and I don't have to look at what I'm drinking. And 2, I can put that on fire and boil water.
Yeah.
Which is a big one to me.
Yeah.
My water bottle is all burned up and looks like hell.
So I mean, there, you know, I agree with Chris 100%. You know, the chemical treat, that is the, I have a filter or a way to filter water, but it has broken, and you know, this is my last resort kind of thing before I have to go to just scooping water and drinking.
Yeah, these are in
if I can't boil.
If I can,
I mean, I would go to filter to boiling.
This is last ditch. There's no other. I found a water bottle on the side of the road. There's a pond. There's a ditch here, and I have some of these, and the water's too dark for me to even use the SODIS method, or I need to drink it now and I can't wait 8 hours. This is what I'm going to do.
Yeah.
So.
And then another option.
That thing's pretty cool right there. I remember the Myox now from years ago, like you said, reading about it.
Yeah, this is an older design. I think kind of took off and then it kind of died.
Yeah. Well, when the SteriPen came out, I think it gave it a run for its money.
Yeah.
But.
So this is the MSR Myox. I think they reintroduced this just a year or so ago. It kind of has a little bit different design, but same principle overall. And really what we're doing here is we're making bleach electrically. The thing that I like about this, runs off of 2 CR123 batteries, is it's extremely lightweight, easy to use, but this is a way for you to actually make bleach, period.
Yeah, which goes back to the whole thing when we talk about you can treat water with it, you can disinfect, you can sterilize. You can,
It runs off of nothing but regular salt. I mean, just your regular rock salt, table salt, whatever it might be. Rock salt works a little bit better because it doesn't break down as fast as like if you used regular table salt.
Right.
It'll dissolve really quick, so you can get more uses out of rock salt. But literally just crack the cap, and I have some salt in here. You just crack the cap, put just a little like teaspoon, thimble-sized spoon of water in here. Hit the button, and it'll actually, I'm gonna say ionize. Ionize the water, and what you're left up with in a minute or so is liquid bleach for the most part. I mean, that's what it is. And it actually has buttons down here. You can do a ½ liter, 2 liters, or 4 liters, you know, and it's just the amount of times that you hit the button.
Oh, really?
And it concentrates it, you know, makes it to a different. So, I mean, you could have a 4-liter bladder, you know, hit the button 4 times, takes a few minutes, dump it in there. And you just disinfected, you know, 4 liters of water.
4 liters of water.
And what's great about it is I mean, yeah, you got to worry about batteries. And the batteries, you know, they last a long time.
Oh,
I mean, you forget about them because they're used so little.
And they're lithium, so you don't have to worry about them going bad and corroding the device. So that's good.
But this is something, what I like about this item the most and why I've had it is salt is cheap, readily available, and quasi everywhere. You know, in a very horrible situation.
Sure.
You know, a restaurant might be completely looted of food, but you could go around to every table and pick up the salt shaker.
Yeah.
And I have another way to continue purifying water just by finding salt shakers laying around.
Well, that too, and like I mentioned earlier, you know, water softeners.
Water softeners.
Everybody's gonna have a brine tank. You know, you can go there and scoop that out, dry it.
Yep.
Package it, take it with you.
So it's just another.
For you folks up north, that weird stuff. What do they call that? Ice melt, ice.
Yeah,
I don't know what that is. Something you guys spread it on the ground. I thought you did that to salt the earth so people couldn't live behind you, but we don't do that down here.
But it's just another tool in the toolbox.
Yeah.
For me.
Yeah, and it's a neat one. I kind of like that thing.
So you know, that is our systems that we have, that we use, that we've used, and you know, so what we want to do. Here's what I'll end with this. Your favorite method? What's your go-to?
My Berkey's. I mean, you know, and again, if you ask just my overall favorite method, it's my Berkey. But it always depends on the situation. But my Berkey, because it's a fire and forget thing. You know, fill it, forget it. You know, walk away from it. So, and I use that thing every day, and it really does. It improves the taste of my water at home. I enjoy it. So.
And you don't notice it until you go somewhere else.
Yeah, when I go somewhere else, I realize how crappy the water tastes. Or God forbid, I have to drink a bottle of bottled water, which I am not a fan of.
Yeah.
Commercially available bottled water.
You know, my go-to method that I've used for a lot of my hikes and stuff is I like the Platypus Gravity Works system.
Yeah.
That's my go-to.
Well, if I'm working on my bag,
yeah,
it's this guy right here, and I'm drinking hundreds of gallons of water.
Yeah, and you know, the Gravity Works system, if I was to give my opinion on which one to get, I like it because it can work home and and on the go.
Yeah, it's
You
dual
know,
use.
it's
That's
dual
nice. I
use.
like that. You know.
It's really affordable.
You know, and you could too, if you, again, cash strapped, if obviously money's an issue for everybody, just to varying degrees for different folks.
Yep.
So you could make a system like that with one of these. That's
yeah.
another benefit of this thing. You know, you could build a gravity filtration system out of one of these, and you get a little creative with your water bags, water bladders, whatever you can come up with. You can do it with one of these too.
Yeah,
so
agree.
But I like that because it's already assembled. It's really sleek and it's nice and fast. Because that filter would be faster than this filter.
And we'll end with this. You know, make sure you check out our building block section down in our website as well. And you know, and you'll kind of see where you should be with regards to your preps as well, and kind of see where you are. I will say, if you're at the point where you say, hey guys, I have my bug out bag is set and done, but I'm working on my families. I'm building 3 or 4, for family members, or I'm building 3 or 4 for locations, to put into a cache or something like that. My go-to would be the Sawyer then.
Oh yeah.
Go pick up 3 or 4 of those, throw them in a bag.
You don't need 3 or 4 of the platypus gravity filters.
Or Berkeys.
Or even 3 or 4 filters.
Yeah.
If you've got a family of 4, maybe having 2 filters and then everybody having one of these.
Yeah, agree.
To keep the cost down. I mean, you don't need 4 pump filters, but you want more than one because 2 is 1, 1 is none. So if you lose one, you don't have none. So, but everybody should have one of these. We did that little video of the personal survival kit.
Yep.
This is in my personal survival kit. I actually took it out of the tin to shoot the video here. So everybody should have one of these.
So guys, this is the water section of our Survival University. Be sure to leave any comments, questions, anything like that below. We will definitely be around to answer them. And that's what this is really all about. It's about giving you guys information and then giving you guys the platform to ask us and to ask each other, exactly what you're running. Tell us about what setups you're using. Tell us about if you've made upgrades, modifications. Tell us also, listen, we also learn through failure,
Oh, that's
we
a good
think we think that it's the best, and then we actually use it, it breaks.
Yeah.
And that's also, something that Chris and I are very serious about is when something just doesn't work, we want you guys to know about it, because the last thing we want is for you guys to go spend that hard-earned money that could have been placed towards something else on something that is just going to fail you.
Yeah. And education is an expensive thing.
Yeah.
And so hopefully we can help your educations be a little less expensive, because we've made lots of mistakes.
Yeah.
Lots of them. And it's just a thing that evolves over time. So, but the stuff we show you guys here, this is all legit stuff that works. We know this works because we used it.
So guys, we hope you enjoyed this. Comment below, post your questions, and we will see you at the next university.
Yeah, let's see what you're using. Show us your stuff. We want to see it.
See ya.